controllers down and I had my hands in front of my face, and I'm like, what?
The fuck? I'm glad you weren't on weed in that moment.
I was. That was even more trippy.
Oh my god, I made it worse.
Oh, no. I've smoked so
streaming
much
What do
weed
you
in my
mean by
life
you
that
made it
I've
worse?
become numb to it.
What do you mean by you made
Oh,
it
I didn't make it
worse?
worse. I didn't make it worse. He made it worse for himself. Being on weed and in this game just makes everything fucking worse.
Not really. I mean, I'm high like
Dude,
good
okay,
75% of the
What I
time.
want you to do the next time you decide to get ass blasted fucking high, go play a flight game and try and do that shit. Alright,
Oh,
it is the
dude.
weirdest shit. Or call me. Fucking, if I
It's
am
hard to do
free,
flight games in this.
get your fucking shit high. I will fly you around, mock Jesus, going flying high.
So
That's
I'm
sweet. Oh, man.
assuming it's a
So are you
fun
streaming?
thing to do or a not fun thing to do.
Oh,
And yes,
dude,
I
it's
am.
weird. It's a weird thing. Hey, you got Maxwell back. Anyways,
So speaking
are
of
you streaming
planes,
yet? Damn.
I'm actually getting the link right now.
yeah. Oh man, we're
Already
missing
gotten
out on
them
some
the
gold
link.
here.
Yeah, Fernie, goddamn. Kate, shut the fuck up. We're not streaming. Anyways. Anyways, back to what we were saying.
I started this when you started talking about reading an airplane.
We can start off with airplanes whenever you start recording.
It's not even recording.
Works,
That's when
bro.
I started just face. Okay, face.
Bernie, I've already gotten them the link.
Uh,
Napalm and Red can technically start watching immediately. Get your stream going.
I
Worry
I
about
don't
trying to get viewers. Get the stream going.
Also, why you pause the song? I don't care
Bernie,
about
you're
copyright.
gay. We understand.
Why you pause the music? Why did the dang meme stop? Like I hear no dang memes. Where's the infinite audio that the world naturally provides?
Why is there a button that says lolly support?
Oh yeah, that's to make everything taller so you can reach these two buttons.
Oh.
Yeah,
Shut
this
up.
is
Are
just
you
a
new
video
to VR
so you
chat
can
by
reach
chance?
these two buttons. This is a fire lookout tower. They're located all throughout Montana, Idaho, Minnesota, and... Oh, Cade's been here a while, dude.
Yeah, I've been wild.
Then how did they not know
Yeah, he's
about lolly
fucking known.
support?
Lolly support's just a weird feature that's, like, not seen much anymore. It's normally, like, a slider that raises things up. That's just a button that just go... So, here, if you want some ambient... I guess that makes some ambient, I don't know. I have
thought it was like
volume down.
like an anime thing. Like you call in like an airstrike, but it's like lollies with
Dude, there's
like
a fucking C-130
lolly
flying
toes with
around
like
here.
rocket launcher. Like that one anime.
There's a C-130 flying around here. If I saw a lolly jumping out that motherfucker, I'd be scared.
Beware
So
the
if you're
little
looking
anime girl.
So if you can put in natural audio if you want like a more foresty vibe, like Fire Lookout, or Fire Watchtower.
Actually, hold on. I think I got the perfect background music that you won't get copyright struck for. Give me a second.
I have 0. Oh no, that's wrong. I have only 2 followers. I think I'm fine when it
I'm one of them.
to copyright claims.
It'll sound great though. Hold on.
I don't have to worry about that at all.
And I'm one of your followers, Freddy.
Why did you follow?
Because it's normally what I do, so I'm able to find your channel easier.
Poop.
You know you're talking to a thing but that's doing thing about things. And doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, right?
Bernie, we're all fucking retarded some days. Okay, you're not really saying much.
I refuse to say that word.
Well, yeah, of course you refuse to say it.
Oh, should I make the lens visible or invisible?
The what now?
Should I make the camera lens visible or invisible?
All right.
That's up to you. I don't give a crap.
Okay.
There you go.
There's an
Here's
audio,
your
there's a
background
video
music.
player as well.
No media loaded. What?
Because I don't know. It's just that Kamana is the one that playing stuff right now.
I ain't playing shit. Fucking load your shit, bro.
I'm just showing you what. I'm just saying what the
There we
thing
go.
tells me.
Aha.
There we go. Now it's loading.
So this used to be like the passive music in like Neverwinter Nights, like an old PlayStation game. They use this for like
This motherfucker's a
Huh.
DM, by the way.
oh yeah,
Dungeon
I've been
Master.
playing D&D for like ever. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got it right.
Big time nerd.
big nerd.
Actually, what's the difference between a geek, a nerd, and a weeb? And I'm actually asking because I do not know the difference.
That's a good question. So a nerd would be someone who is actually smart, right? A geek is just someone who's just really into something. And a dork is Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
I agree with that.
Let's add Ed and Eddie. I know I heard it before. I just cannot
Ed,
think
Ed,
of
Eddie
it.
is- Hold on.
I just cannot
Ed,
think of
Eddie
it.
was a cartoon that started streaming late 1990s, early 2000s. Ran on Cartoon Network in an early to mid morning routine, and then would, as soon as it gets into the later afternoons, would be airing its final episodes of the day, and then it would just be gone. It basically follows the story of three friends, Ed, Ed, and Eddie, as they go along in their adventures of different kind of livelihood activities. One of which is always getting the Gobwhopper, I think it was, or the Stopper. And
Yeah,
that fucking
they were
thing
out.
is a massive piece of fucking candy, dude.
Big old jawbreaker.
Yeah, seriously.
Like under normal circumstances, you couldn't fit this thing in your jaw, but they all could.
Yeah. This thing
'Cause
looked
Cartoon
like it was
Logic.
a fucking cyst on the side of their head. Yes, that's Cartoon Network for you.
And I learned an interesting fact about it. So the guy that made it was actually he was like a porn star director or something. He made it on bet.
Makes sense.
Said I could make a better cartoon using my own sound
He
effects
actually
and
did succeed
everything,
in that.
and he did.
He did succeed at that.
Like all the sound effects were like shit that he thought was funny, like the horse, like you know what I'm talking about. The horse,
Yeah,
like,
all his own
like
shit.
shit that just found from like this and that, like sound bites, and he thought that'd be great for a cartoon. Because you think about it, most cartoons are just sound effects laid over top of hand-drawn images. And, of course, your voice actors.
Yes. You cannot really
Like,
succeed without voice actors.
Like, but...
What about silent films then?
part of
Didn't
the
they
thing that
succeed with no
makes-
voice actors?
Yeah.
Silent films are the only thing
Silent
that
films.
do not require actors or voice actors.
Silent
Oh.
film cartoons, too. If you remember, SpongeBob's pilot episode was silent.
Yes, it actually was.
At least I remember.
I never seen SpongeBob.
Did you see the
pilot
episode about how SpongeBob got the fucking job he had?
I just
I
thought he
remember
always
all
had.
the old episodes.
I just
How he
thought
got
he
his first job.
always
He
had
went in
it.
for a job interview, right?
Yeah, he went in for a
Anyone-
job interview. They said you gotta find this specific ass fucking spatula. Wally was gone, a shit ton of mackerel came in and ordered,
Yep.
like, we're fucking tearing up the place. He arrived back on his trusty steed, the fucking spatula, landed and just started
Served them
going to
all up.
town.
And it was all playing like Tiny Tim in the background. Like,
Tiny Tim, bro. Tiny Tim, bro. To the window, to the window. Anyways,
Oh my goodness, that's an old
that
song.
dude, if you've ever seen
It's also
video of
curse
him,
music because
what
it
a
always you always hear
creep
that
show.
after
He
something
looked
like
creepy as
tragic
fuck.
happens.
He died of a heart attack on stage.
Yep, something tragic did happen.
He was like, yeah, he was also his final performance. He just like stuck it through. He was like, oh, I'm dying. It was like, the show must go on.
the show must go on, Dad.
No, if I was dying, I'm
Like,
saying like
no,
I'm dying. Fuck the
you're
show.
gonna be below the tulips, Tim. Go to the hospital.
Make sure his fan came first, which is a very honorable but stupid thing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's already started,
filming?
Fernie.
Oh, it's been
You
going on
believe
for
this?
a long ass time.
Okay,
Unless you-
good. God dang.
It's been going
man,
ever
I-
since we talked
Yeah.
about. No, not we. You two started talking about
Dude, okay, so I
know.
want you to understand.
Playing in
You were
coke.
talking about planes earlier. So
Mhm.
you were talking about planes earlier, right? So the funny thing is the original idea for long-range bombers was the C-17 Globemaster, but they decided instead of using that fuel system that was put in 17, they were going to use the Stratofortress because it had mid-air refueling. They switched out the C-17's main function for both cargo bombing and heavy payloads like tanks and armored vehicles with a third feature of tanker hauling. So your tankers, like your tanker toads, are sometimes C-17 Globemasters, and in the forest industry, like the plane you see flying around a couple times in the background, is a C-17 Globemaster with a tanker feature. They have little chutes that pop out on the bottom that they can ride along, and on really long lakes, they can scoop up fucking water and fill those tanks. And as soon as
I've
they
heard
take back off,
stories
they
of
can
like a
drop
swimmer's
just.
getting caught up in them and dumped.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about them because they have to make sure the lake's cleared. Those things hold thousands of fucking gallons. I'm talking tens, hundreds of thousands of gallons of just fucking fire retardant water.
Yeah.
It must
So,
require some powerful engines to lift all that weight. 'Cause think about it, every flight that comes and goes, they always have to count in the weight. Like, there's a reason why they assign fat people to 2 seats, and they're like, okay, well, that's 2 seats taken up. They do the math.
Hold up. What is classified as
so,
fat? For
so
airplanes.
originally the C-17 Globemaster was a two 4-blade engine turbine on a 10-cylinder rotary designed for long-range cargo. Then it got upgraded to a 4 engine on the same 10 cylinders, running the same fuel system, like the plane in the background right now. It runs on a 4 engine, I think, Kobo's D358 Jackal Runner, which I cannot remember if that's the actual name, but I know it's a Jackal Runner. Actually, I can actually look it up real quick. I have my computer right behind me. And we're gonna get information correct today, ladies and gentlemen. For those at home that are actually paying attention to have
Spread misinformation. Do what the media does all the time.
C-17 Globemaster. It is the 3rd generation. Let's see what kind of specs we dealing with. So, power plant is 4 Pratt & Whitney F117 PW100 turbofan engines generating each 40,440 pounds of thrust. Basically, have you ever wanted to get thrown so hard you seem like you're a goddamn meteor on impact.
Oh, that's what it's like
what
to
this thing will
drive.
do. This thing
That's
is
what it's like to
designed
drive a
to go across the damn
415.
planet.
You want to talk about a meteor? So, while I was at the Air Force Museum during the eclipse, we had the idea to go see it from the Air Force Museum up in Ohio.
Okay.
And oh man, it was a killer experience. Big festival going on there. Lots of people.
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh yeah, and there was even like the military band there, the army band set up to play. And afterwards, we went in, took a tour of the museum while the parking lot cleared out. And man, I got me a coffee mug of. It was a tough choice between like either the P-51 Mustang or like B-17 Flying Fortress, or the Blackbird. And you know which one I picked?
Which one?
The Blackbird. Because
okay. Do you want
as
the
much as I
fucking
love the
funny
other
story
two,
about that one?
what's that?
So continue what you're actually saying, and I'll say mine.
Because in my opinion, the Blackbird is the most beautiful aircraft ever made. Most beautiful jet aircraft ever made, and considering what the equipment at the time, you're talking about the late 60s, right? And they're the height of the Cold War, and they managed to sneak in the titanium that they needed from Russia to build the
That's where
thing.
the story comes in. That's where the story comes in.
Yes.
So,
Built in
for
by
those who
Skunk
don't know,
Works.
and if anybody's even listening half the fucking time, I don't know, I don't care. During the Cold War, Russia was not fucking ideal with just handing over a shit ton of titanium to the United States at the time. So, what the United States did was make many small companies backed by, like, that had different country origins to them. That way, Russia would just hand over a little bit of titanium at a time, but we didn't have the machinery to do it or make anything with that titanium. We had to remake machinery a lot until it was finally done. Once it was done, we figured out that as much as that's great and all, we have to build this plane loose. So they reached out to a company because they needed fuel at the time as well. They reached out to a company called Marathon. They're heavily based, located damn well everywhere on this planet, even in the United States, to say, hey, we need fuel that isn't fuel. We basically need fuel that's not going to catch on fire and explode. And Marathon's like, I got you. And in like 2 months' time span, they got it done. They sent it over. They sent like 3 tankers of it that are like massive, held about 10,000 gallons of it each. They sent it over. We got it on site, got it ready. And the first flight up, the fucking like pilot was like, dude, this fuel is efficient as hell. As they were flying across the sky, going Mach graceful high, they were able to take pictures of shit, and they were even shot at a couple times after the test flight. They were shot at a couple times by rockets and missiles and RPGs. Legit, the pilot had to just move it by like 2 degrees. The missile missed by 2 miles.
Yeah, that sucker was so aerodynamic just by the shape alone. Like, all right, just to prove my point about it being the most beautiful aircraft ever made, you remember Star Wars? The what was it? The Return of the Sith? Wherever there's like little Skywalker shows up. The ship that he's riding in is basically a chromed out version of it. The ship that he accidentally he's hiding in, accidentally blows up like a mothership type deal in the movie. Yeah, that's the same thing. It's just a chrome version of it. Or it was either that or the ship that they was like Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan were all riding in. It was one of those ships. It's like, wow, it's so beautiful, even shiny and chrome like that. Normally, it's a Blackbird, so you see it in that blacked out titanium. even still looks like a black Cadillac cruising up.
Dude,
You know a bunch of gangsters are gonna pop out of that.
I'm surprised they weren't doing drive-bys half the time in Star Wars. Just like, yo, what's up?
Oh yeah, it
You
took
in-
forever
in
for
my
the
next
radar technology to
galaxy,
catch up
homie?
to it. Like, that thing was in service for so long. It was
So
like
long.
the 90s that it finally got taken down out of service,
The
and
the
not one had been
SR-71
shot down.
Blackbird.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is they're trying to re-up the program, but they're gonna change it up, and they're going with the same program that was in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, the Skunk
Fuck,
Works,
what's that
right?
plane? No, the fucking high-speed jet, dude. That one that Maverick was flying in the beginning. That got his ass
Oh
sent
yeah.
right back to the fucking beginning of going back to Top Gun to reteach. Dude, they're trying to re-up that program. I don't remember what it's called. I don't know why the fuck they're doing this shit, but they want to have a dick size contest with Russia again.
Well,
I mean, we've already had one with Russia back in the Cold War about who can make the better nuke throwing device.
yeah. The
That's
problem
Davy
is with
Crockett and the Atomic Annie.
the whole nukes thing is most countries, they think that their nukes are in prime working order. Most of them, including ourselves, our own nukes, are kind of inoperable.
I mean, yeah, but still,
I mean, you think
they
about the
can be used for
technology,
something.
even on the nuclear subs that are out there now. They're working with technology that my grandfather was using back in
Yeah,
the 50s.
they need to innovate. They really do. They need to innovate some stuff.
They need to upgrade. I think I heard it was something from one sailor or one soldier that said if they managed to upgrade it all to where it could be run off a laptop, it would be very efficient.
Yeah. Speaking of the submarine shit. Hold on.
But what scares me though is AI, because
How the fuck
what
does AI
happens
scare
There
when
was
you?
a
I've been quiet this entire time. How the fuck does AI could scare you? It just tells what fucking homework at this point. And if you try to use AI for like actual shit, it's a failure. Like a full on failure.
well, you got to think about it from my perspective. All right, so I'm a little bit older than everyone in this room right now, and I grew up watching Terminator movies and stuff like that, and Y2K was a very real fear that most adults in my life were afraid of happening, which was so that you don't, so that you know what Y2K is. People were afraid that due to a computer error or a computer malfunction, due to the date time of it turning over from 1999 to 2000, they thought it would cause all the computers to go haywire and make them fire off nukes at random. And who knows what else? Computers could fry, and the whole world could go down just as it was starting to computerize. That's what everyone was worried about. Turns out it never happened. Some computers may have went a little bit wonky, and you had to take in like, yeah, the calendar function isn't quite right.
yeah.
But other than that,
To kind of go back on what I said about submarines, dude, there was a submarine during
Yeah.
World War II that had to surface because the shitter stopped working.
yeah, there was one that sunk because of the shitter.
Yeah, it was the commander tried to fucking use that one and sunk it.
Isn't that embarrassing? It was like a Nazi sub or something, right?
Yeah, there was a guy that had one job. His job was that fucking toilet.
Just clean it.
So, while we're on the topic of subs, there was, I think it was a Twilight Zone episode. If not, it was so similar to it, where there's these Nazis. They have like a high-end leader coming aboard the sub, and
They left. They come back.
But anyway, to finish the story, they kind of like board the submarine, and they start going crazy because they hear like knocking on coming from the outside of the sub. Keeps trying to demand the captain to breach. Can't do that. We're in enemy territory. And he kept thinking that the ship was gonna like decompress or something, and was going crazy from being cooped up in the submarine. And turns out it was after like they got captured by the Allies, and well after this dude lost his mind, that it was some poor mechanic was caught up underneath the decking, just working, and he was trying to bang on it to let them know, I'm still out here, don't go underwater. But he had long since drowned, and his arm was just against the hull of the ship holding a wrench. And that's what drove the dude crazy.
That's dark. That's scary.
It is dark.
That is one of my ultimate fears is drowning, and that got to me.
Oh man,
That's
so
sad, dude.
Speaking of fears, what's the most common fear?
it's
'Cause I
just
know drowning is one of them. There's also fear of heights, spiders, and all that. But like, what's the most common fucking fear?
the fear of dying. That's the most common fear. Everything, including animals, fears it.
But that's natural. Can mana left again?
It might. But if you're talking about like phobias, like I guess clowns or spiders, arachnophobia, lots of people are scared of spiders.
I'm scared of the dark, and I'm 25 years old. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared of the dark.
How are you still
I've
scared of
walked
the
in the
dark?
woods alone without a flashlight.
Oh hell
There's
no!
things in the darkness you don't know what they are.
And I've seen things out in those woods. Even Cypress can attest to that. We've
No.
seen things out in the
Yo,
woods.
Okay, so I
No.
got a new one to add. I have a new one to add,
Oh, boy.
motherfuckers.
Yeah,
What you
especially
got?
that.
Okay.
They're called halfway people.
Halfway.
What is that?
Yes. So there are 5 rules. There are 5 rules when it comes to diving as a rescue diver in Michigan. Even a dredge operations diver. These 5 rules apply to every deep waterway, from the lakes to deep rivers to anything. Alright? I'm going to list them off, and then I'll explain what a halfway person is. Do not swim in water where algae spins.
Okay.
Okay. Do not
Okay.
That
dive
could mean
deeper. Do not dive deeper than the sun shines.
Okay.
Do not
Alright.
do not surface in underwater caves that you do not know.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Do not
that's
go
pretty
into
logical.
caves where you hear clicking.
Hold on. Why would you hear clicking in a cave that's underwater?
What? Shit. Sound
Uh-huh.
works underwater. Just hear me out. Last one. Okay. Do not ever travel alone when you are going into these waters, and do not dive at night.
Don't dive at night.
Don't mind at night.
Those 2
That's-
rules are basically one. Don't go alone, don't dive at night. Okay? The halfway
Alright.
people are a spiritual creature that does fucking exist, and I have seen these fuckers. Okay? They are fish-like. They have gills. They see really fucking well underwater. They are fast fucking swimmers. They are
Oh, so they're Lovecraftian. They're like what is it?
The best way to describe them is they are what's they are what happens when you mix a drowned victim with horror. Cause you
Ugh.
I will explain why each of these rules exist with for a fucking reason. Starting from the fucking first one, the reason you don't go into waters where algae is spinning is because they were just fucking there. You're in the same area where they just fed on something, and if you even go into that water, you will not make it back out of there in one piece.
Okay.
Second one, if I remember correctly, don't dive deeper than sun shines. Reason being, you cross that threshold, you go into their domain, and they fucking know when you did.
What about sunsets then?
Alright? And they are pissed.
Sunsets where the light.
You get the fuck out of the water. You better know what time it is so you're not in the water around then. Dumb question. Dumb fucking question.
No question is a dumb question.
Don't surface in underwater caves you don't know because that could be their fucking home.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go into caves where you hear clicking because that is most likely where the fuck they are. They are very
Yes, sir.
fucking territorial. And the reason I say don't go alone is because if you do go alone, you're a sole fucking target. You're the only thing they're looking at. You go alone, at least you have a 50-50 shot at getting out of there.
So don't go where algae blooms.
Dang.
Stance because they were recently there. Don't go into caves because that's their home. Don't go during
And they make
night
these homes deadly fucking obvious too.
Don't go at night because you'll die. Don't go alone because you need a sacrifice just in case you are at night.
You need someone to trip as you're swimming.
I'm sorry, dude. Bye.
It's gonna be a race. Whoever can surface first is the lucky one.
Clamber up on their shoulders and push them off.
Maybe.
And don't
Never
even.
go diving.
Hey, I
Just
only
don't go
go in
diving in
waters I
Michigan.
know are safe. Just don't go diving in Michigan. Anywhere else is safe as fuck. Michigan, fuck that shit. Don't even
It's
try
like
to
the
kill these
fog
things.
over
It is
Innsmouth.
not fucking worth it. All right, they are resoundingly resilient.
If you've never read it,
Actually-
Lovecraft, that is pretty much what you're describing there. In the story,
Yeah, dude.
what is it?
Time some of this shit's like
Fog over
named after
Innsmouth.
Lovecraft books.
Fishmen, literally fishmen, they come ashore dressed in people's clothes, and his biggest fear was that they interbred with people and that those children became fishmen. They just would come back every so often and just dilute the human gene pool.
I mean, that's fair.
You gotta remember, H.P. Lovecraft was also a racist.
Yes.
His biggest
He
fear
was.
was the mixing of races.
So, I mean, okay, so now that we're talking about fucking cryptids, there's a fucking radio tower out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere desert land, United States. Like, it's a good 2-3 hour drive to the radio tower from any fucking town. And it sits out there. Alright. No experience required. Alright, you go there, there's rules. I don't remember all of them. I wasn't personally working there. I've just heard fucking stories from truckers. You've seen this fucking thing. It is in so much fucking disrepair because no one goes there anymore. But the story behind it was a religious kind of cultish society built it to be closer to God, except it didn't attract God at all. It attracted something from downstairs called
So
a
like
goat
Satan.
demon. It is a regular. It's called a goat demon. Alright, it is a regular demon that only fixates and can possess ghosts and control them, but they still attack humans. It's like watching Goatman fucking come back to life, and it's scary as hell. They only attack at night, so yeah, fucking you better stay locked in there for all night. Let's see, I believe. Don't look in the mirror from 2 to 3. Play the midnight hour song from midnight to 1 a.m. Play the goodbye song in the morning. And then do not let anybody in that knocks twice. No matter who the fuck they are.
Why twice?
And don't have dead air. Don't have
Yeah,
dead
only
air.
twice.
What the
Dead
fuck is
So the
dead air?
reason dead air,
What is
dead
that?
air means there's no music playing, there's no, like, dead air is there's no music. Meaning the radio tower's working, but nothing's being played. But nobody really hears the music. So,
You
reason
can't
why
really
there's
hear it. It's
two-
just on the air.
yeah, but there's music that can be played, but very few people will even be able to hear it. You always answer the phone when it rings. You never miss a caller. And if I remember, the reason why there's the 2 knocks is a normal human being doesn't fucking knock just twice. They're just going do 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 or do do do. No, a fucking demon, as I'm kind of coming to realization, only knocks twice.
But I knocked twice.
Do do. Bernie, you're from corrupted lovers, all right? You got some sin in you, honey. You're from hell.
And I
Need I
ain't
say
joking.
more?
But I'm not even joking. I do just knock twice when I knock on the door.
Well, then
And I
either
only
add
enter
one or
whenever I'm
take one
invited.
away. Yeah, only enter the room if you're invited then.
Otherwise, you'll melt into a puddle. And never cross running water. These are like old vampire,
Yeah, seriously.
Kinda
Some of the
rules.
times that me and him have been up so fucking late, we were talking about the dumbest fucking shit possible.
We
I
talk
tend
about
to ramble on
cryptids
anyway.
and demons and
Yeah.
devils,
Yes.
and
Spooky.
banshees,
I've seen some.
spirits.
I
and
mean, if you want a
fishmen.
weird fucking thing to talk about, I just got, like, not 2 days ago, I was in a fucking tournament talking about cryptic vor tournament on who would, like, survive the longest and who would get eaten. Like, who's the most hungriest.
I
Wanna know
got a
who
question.
fucking won? Nessie. Nessie fucking won, alright? That motherfucker was hungry. Alright, what's your question, though?
So, alright, this is a hypothetical. And so how long do you think the human head or the human body could last? Like survive? Like, how long do you think you could live?
In what environment?
Well, if say medical advancements have
Just
I don't
give
know.
me the fucking environment and I will give you the damn
Like a
statistics
laboratory.
and time.
Maybe like your head is cut off in a jar like Futurama or something.
Okay,
Like,
so
how
as long as it
How
is hooked
long?
up to at least the blood flow pack and oxygen, that brain can survive for as long as possible. As long as it is hooked up. As soon as you unhook it, then it has about 30 seconds.
But there's also the point in which, so you gotta think about it like this is you. You're gonna try and live forever. Your idea of like brain in a
Dude, if
jar.
my idea of fucking
Immortality?
living together as or living forever as a head, yeah. If that is my idea of immortality, is my head in a fucking jar? Hell no.
I think
Well,
your brain will
think about
actually
it this
kill
way, you're plugged
itself
into the
because of the lack of
Matrix.
stimuli.
Right? Yeah. So you're plugged in the Matrix, kind of. Even though your head is in a jar, you're still like your
Yes, you can
mind is
technically.
like a VR world, kind of like as we are now, except you can smell, taste, touch. Got the work.
Pretty much. But it kind of draws
In reality,
back
you're
again.
just yeah.
It again, as long as you're hooked up, it'll run and work until that electricity is immediately shut off. or if there's an electric pulse that damages your brain, or if you're unplugged because you decide you no longer want to live anymore, then you have 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds from being
Well,
decapitated to being hooked up. Again,
we're going by
going off
how
of
long do you think that? Do you really think you could last forever this way, or do you think the brain
No.
No, you
could eventually
can't.
start to rot?
Okay,
No.
so your brain always needs stimulants and nutrients to continuously upgrade and advance itself and repair itself when damaged. If you are not feeding it with those supplements, which is going to be fed to it, if you're not protecting it, which is what the skull does, and you're not giving it that stimulant, which is what the senses are doing, smell, taste, look, hearing, touch,
Yeah.
you're not really feeding it any more information, and it is just stuck there,
So it's
stagnant.
atrophying.
And over time,
Yeah.
yeah, you're legit just staying in one place, staring at an abysmal abyss of possibilities forever.
So after a certain amount of time, your brain will eventually harden or rot.
Bye.
So, okay, so I kind of am on a call with them, so I can only hear them, and I only heard them for a little bit. So what you're saying is you're decapitated and then put into a dream state to where you still feel everything. But okay, so it kind of goes back of what he said for like VR. Her question was if you were decapitated, put into that jar, and then still put into a simulation where you could feel, taste, touch, hear, see everything like normal, would the brain last longer? It would only last as long as those stimulants did, or that simulation would last. And as soon as that stimulation's done, then you're stuck there with the same amount of knowledge.
Almost like you played Fallout 3, there's the doctor in like a world, like a VR world where all the bodies are in like these
Yes.
coffin things preserved, but
Yes.
everyone, the plan is to kill everyone else and leave him alone. So they're freed of his torture, and he is just kind of trapped by himself, stuck in this
Yes.
machine. Can't live because he'll probably die, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just losing his mind. This is like a
It
punishment,
goes
really.
Volt 82.
Yeah. So, if you had to put like an expiration date on the brain, what would it be? Like,
So,
plug it in, make it
If-
last longer, or maybe 500 years at the most, or
my guess, if you're constantly feeding a stimulation and it doesn't realize how long it's been in there, and it doesn't start questioning reality and breaking down and having a lot of stress put on it, yeah,
oh
it
god,
would
it's just a
probably
simulation.
it would reach about 520 put on. And then as soon as it's like that simulation is shut off, it would only go for maybe another 10 to 20 years until it would want to self-end itself. Or until your want to self-end itself, and then cutting off all stimulations and treatments, anything like that, and then it's done in 30 seconds to a minute.
I see. Alright.
Brain surgeons have a 30-second window to a minute at most, depending on what they're doing and how long it takes to reattach.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I ask this is it feels like it's a question as old as time, you know? How long do you think the head will last whenever it's chopped off at the guillotine? Well, depends on if you hook it up to a bunch of, like, life support machines.
But you're not doing that with a guillotine.
Right?
I mean, that's fair.
Once
No,
the head
you're
is cut
killing
off,
a criminal.
you're dead.
But think about it. So here's an interesting little topic. A few years ago, there was a quadriplegic man going to undergo a head transplant. It's never been done before. No one's ever had their head transplanted onto a healthy body before. And he was going to do it because he's quadriplegic. What else got to do except rot away in a chair? And he was going to do it until he met a girl. Gave him something to live for. It's like, you know what? If this fucking doesn't work, it's like, who cares? Like, at least I'll be out of my misery. And then he's like, you know what? I finally have something to live
How
for.
I Met Your Mother. Yeah, she stopped me
Yeah.
from transplanting my head.
But imagine, though, if he had gone through with it and it succeeded. What it would be, that would be like the first heart transplant. It's huge.
Here's a question. Would that person be able to walk if you were transplanted into a healthy body? Reason why is because the brain has no experience on walking or running.
Well, no,
So
they
I
probably,
can kind
if,
of answer that. I can
if it
kind
was
of answer that
successful,
one.
they'd probably have to, like, learn how to do all that.
So after
Most major
anything
surgeries they do,
happens,
anyway.
yeah, after any surgeries are done, the body is wounded, damaged, stiffened up in certain areas, or if not, forgetting certain knowledges. In case of like a full head transplant or brain transplant, it is normally a 6 to 8 months of continuous physical and mental and psychological therapy to make sure the brain is functioning correctly, that all skills are maintained moving over to the new body, and sometimes the body just has different limitations than others. There's a movie about a guy who was a very well-renowned artist, but he had his head transferred to a different body because his body was actually about to kill him with cancer. So he just transferred his head to a different body because he had the money. But when he got there and he started trying to draw again, he couldn't. He couldn't draw. He lost that ability entirely. But he gained a new one from said body, and he gained martial arts of 3 different kinds, combat abilities, and he came to find out the body he now inhabited was a ex-military special forces guy. He can't draw, but that dude now can kick like a mule. It took him all of 6 to 8 months of physical therapy, mental therapy, and psychological therapy to be able to cope and understand the changes that the body was experiencing. So yes, after a certain time frame, you can walk again.
That is amazing. Especially with technology nowadays, they're saying we're not too far off from where, if you're paralyzed from whatever, they could probably just put a chip in you,
I refuse.
wire it back up.
I refuse that.
So-
'Cause that is so
And yes, that
experimentational.
can be something you can refuse. It is entirely optional. You never have to do it in the first place. But the section of the brains that are in your head, there is cognitive, memory, skills, emotions. That's basically
Reason,
kind of how everything. It's
non-reason,
not really.
skills and memories.
Yes. That kind of all falls into your head. There's about 6 parts of it in total. I may have forgotten a few parts, but again, they're there.
Inside of you, there are 2 wolves.
Yeah, your brain has them in certain spots. In 1816 or 1850 area, when we were starting to do the cross-continental railroad, or intercontinental railroad across the country, there was a railroad builder, but I can't remember his name. We're gonna call him Lefty. This dude went to work one day, he was breaking up some rocks, trying to move some things around. Pile of rocks that he hit with his crossbar, which is just a straight shaft of iron rod that he was using to bust up
I
shit
know this
with.
story.
He hit a piece and found out there was dynamite there, and this thing shot up through his left eye and right up through his head. He was rushed to the doctors, repaired as best he could, and placed on waiting. This dude survived, but he was a completely different person because the area of the brain that got hit was the emotions and cognitive ability.
Yeah, they said that he turned into like a real prick afterwards. Like before, he was
Yes, he
an
was a
okay
very
guy.
nice, a very gentle person, but now he's a dick.
Damn.
One step to the brain repair.
Why do I feel like
That's-
I'm in Hogwarts?
You're not in Hogwarts.
It kind of does feel like that.
Well, I know I'm not in
This used to
Hogwarts,
be
right?
like the idle music in Neverwinter Nights, old PC game, and
Okay.
so this was like the loading music and everything, or like if you was inside like a really not like a temple or something, this is what they'd be playing. So peaceful, even though you're like paladin or something preparing to go out and just slaughter a bunch of undead. You're like, ah. This is like, this is what paladins unwind to at the end of the day.
Sure. Sure, that's definitely what paladins listen to at the end of the fucking day. Okay, buddy. The screams of their undead.
Isn't the paladin a holy fucking knight?
No. Yeah, they're a
Yep.
holy knight, so they come back to
You
the
can
temple.
punch them in the face, steal their
then
gold, and
listen
they'll
to
still
this.
come back to you and act all friendly.
What's
Well,
the opposite
then you
of
have the
paladin?
Oathbreakers.
Demon.
Oathbreaker, a blackguard.
Okay, yeah, I'm being demon then.
Black
Hell
Knight.
no. Hell no to
A
whatever
blackguard.
paladins do.
So,
That is stupid.
so blackguards are
There's a thing called
cursed
the
by
Black
their
Knights.
god.
Yes.
Yeah, the Death Knights. So you
So,
can fall and become an Oathbreaker.
Paladins,
Yeah.
and then you have Black Knights. Black Knights are much more feared, but still much more respected. Same with the Paladins, whereas they were respected but not feared. They know they're really fucking good in combat and will hold their own if need be, but they still require on light foot soldiers to help deal with their immobility when it comes to their armor. Whereas
Oh, no,
Black Knights are some of the toughest goddamn fighters you'll ever see. You smack a sword out of their hand, they're gonna pick up a tree stump and smack you with it.
So Berserker would
So
be
I
a
would
Black
argue
Knight.
that you can make a mean paladin. Like,
Especially,
Yes,
so
you can.
think about the Crusades,
Especially
right?
Tiger
Those guys
Blood.
went around murdering civilians just because they didn't believe in the same god.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get by with that with your paladin playthrough too. Be like,
You can also
surprise, the
make a fucking
Inquisition's here.
spear railgun with peasants.
No, you can't. That's just an online meme. Most DMs
Yeah,
won't
it
allow that. Like 90% DMs will not allow the peasant railgun or the goblin railgun or however whatever BS like rule breaking idea you have. Yeah, most of those usually don't get passed. I've heard some wild ones though.
Like what?
Like 2 goblins in a trench coat. Yeah, that was
That
fun.
sounds like 6 kills.
there was one-
code for some reason.
Yeah, so I had like 2 random show up. They said, asked if it's okay if they could play as 2 goblins in a trench coat. And out of curiosity, I said, yeah, let's see how this plays out. So I had the moment they got to town, they ran into the women's room in like the bathhouse and just shit in the water and just stealing clothes, and I thought, oh my god, what did I allow happen?
Oh no.
You like
It was
goblins.
a menace and railroaded my campaign.
You like goblins. Play like
Mhm.
Goblins.
Of course.
Why don't you
it's not
try
gonna
gobbling
be-
these nuts?
No. Come on up. What are you looking at? Well, what's your reason?
Sorry, I was looking at my phone.
Okay.
Yes.
No phone on the stream.
Just fun on the stream.
Blasphemy, bitch! Blasphemy!
I look like a
So,
green
do you want to know?
beast now.
Do you?
With
Okay, so there is a plane that is in, I think, the airspace of Dayton, like in that hangar area, the International Space and Air Museum.
Mm-hmm.
That has a regular, ball gunner, top gunner, dorsal fin, left and right, except it doesn't have the normal belly, kind of the front belly gunner. It still has
The
it,
ball, yeah, the ball gunner on the bottom.
but it also has wing gunners.
Yeah, it's like the.
It just has two random dudes sitting in fucking tubes underneath the fucking wings, trying not to fall out while the plane's shaking.
I always thought those things were cool. Then,
Yep.
as I got older and I heard that those things were just a death trap.
They were.
Oh well.
There was nothing
That's
really
not
protecting
that's
the
not
pilots.
ideal.
Or not the pilots, the fucking flyers there, dude.
They had some balls of steel. Those dudes got in those things.
So, I want you to also understand, there is a plane, not in that museum, but there is a plane in a museum somewhere called the old 666. A bunch of fucking crew members from different squadron who were the goddamn best at what they did compared to their crews, all decided, fuck it, we're gonna make our own crew. Call it the old 6666. They got together, they had the best pilot, best co-pilot, best bombs engineer, which is the person that dropped that shit. Best nose gunner, side gunners, top gunner, ball gunner, back turret, dorsal fin, didn't matter. They had the best of the best. They found a scrapyard just full of fucking planes that were shot up. They found a decent one that was still in good repair. They repaired the shit out of it. Except they didn't have any guns. They needed guns. So they decided to pull the old slippery steel move, strategic transfer of equipment to alternate locations, and they yoinked 50 cals, not the Browning automatic machine guns, 50 cals from other of the planes that required them, and they yoinked those fuckers. They put them on their plane, and when they were confronted, they stood their ground and they got shit done. When they were in the air, they were lead bomber by the end of the month. This was all in World War II, by the way.
Which bombers had a short life expectancy? Like 1 out of 10.
Yeah, they were like 1 out
every
of 10.
run.
There were at least 2 or 3 that would get taken out of every squadron of them. But they would... So, what the original thought process to save these planes was to look at the areas that were getting shot the most and reinforce those areas. But then some fucking asshat from engineering's lower ranks pointed at it and said, no, fucking reinforce the areas that aren't getting hit. Because they know that the areas where there's a shit ton of bullets, it can still fly if those are hit. But the areas that are getting hit, planes ain't coming back from those hits, they need to reinforce. So they reinforced the airframe, they reinforced the wing connects, the fuel tanks, the engine compartment. They left some armor free for the wingtip areas because those were the less important. But when they took to the sky, they were finding a lot more planes are coming back. Plus, it also doesn't help that during that time, all Great Britain over there was running steel mills and sawmills. They were making a plane called the D-69 Mosquito.
And the Spitfire.
Yes, both of them really fast planes, but between the two, the Mosquito was the fastest. It ran again a Pratt and Whitney 5.6, pumping out a shit ton of power back then. But this thing could be optimized to just be a one and done, meaning it carries one 500-pound bomb and a large goddamn fuel tank. Or it was the quickest hit, run, and destroy as much shit as possible type plane, where a lot of the fuel tank was taken out and it was filled with fucking explosives. The best part was they weren't using steel, they were using all wood. So they're carpenters and framers that were looking for a job. They had a job finally. It didn't take Hitler until the end of the war to finally start making these planes, but we were just like, no, it wouldn't work. Whereas the guy who made those planes over in Britain was fucking balling because they were helping push the Germans back fast.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the whole time they was researching, I think, for the Spitfire, we was reverse engineering the Zero. Apparently, a Japanese Zero had crashed in Alaska.
I'm learning too
That
much
was,
new
although Alaska wasn't a state at the time. Yeah.
Well, Fernie, you're the one that decided to sit in on this little lovely stream here.
I
Oh, yeah.
know, and I'm
We're
happy
filling your
about
head
it,
full of
but
history.
It's history fast.
I mean, if you would like, I can just stop and go to
Yeah,
bed.
we can change the
No,
topic.
I'm not complaining about that. I'm complaining about how I cannot follow most of the conversation sometimes. Because if I look away for 1 second, poof.
I mean, if you really want a fucking tree stumper, a male seahorse is the so of the seahorse family, there's a female and a male. They do the deed and shit like that, but instead of the female that gives birth, it's the male that gives birth.
Here's one I learned from Animal Planet a long time ago. There's actually a species of lizard which is all female. They're all kind of hermaphroditic female.
There's a parasitic worm that if you cut in half, you'll grow two complete worms instead of, killing it. Get a use to kill it though.
Oh really? I always thought that was a myth.
Nope, it's an immortal worm.
The immortal worm.
Yes.
Huh.
It's like kill on sight.
Sounds like a
Same with
video game
snails.
character,
There's like a
Earthworm
snail
Jim.
that's kill on sight.
immortal
If you see
worm.
his eggs, kill him, crush him. Does not matter. It's
Those are
it's-
called zucchini snails or snails.
Okay. Yeah, if you see it,
They're called
see pink
zucchini
eggs,
snails.
destroy them because it's an invasive species, and I don't know why we have to kill them.
Set them on fire is what's been asked of us. What do you need on? Okay, fine.
But why do we need to set them on fire?
Because that kills the eggs entirely and turns it to ash instead of something growing back from the shells pulled in.
Because it is the Emperor deems it so.
I'm saying, like, why do we have to kill
I've
the
been
snail?
really getting into
What is-
Warhammer.
I know the snail's an invasive species, but like, what is it doing that we must kill it or exterminate it? That I don't know.
Because I don't know. I've really been getting into Warhammer here lately.
No,
I mean, that's obvious as
that's
shit.
the grinding game. What?
Jesus Christ. Okay, Barney, as much as I would love to be up all night, I have work at 10 in the morning and I need to leave at least by 9 o'clock to get there. So, I need to go. Cade, it was lovely to see you, dude, and I would love to have more chats like this, whether we're streaming or not.
Oh yeah.
But I gotta go, dude. I need sleep before, like, I regret it in the morning and I kill one of my coworkers.
Alright.
You're not
Not
allowed to do
physically,
murder?
but, like, I don't want to put his... Yeah, I'm not allowed to do murder, but I don't want to hurt them while on a job site that is very dangerous because of me lack of sleep.
Before you
my
go,
brain goes
let me ask you
smooth.
this. Do you find anything like a RV wise that you could afford, or did you give up on the hunt for that?
No, dude, I'm still going for a hunt, but I've changed it up a little bit. I'm still looking for a camper van, but I'm also looking for a truck and topper so I can go ahead and customize that shit how I want it.
Nice.
So,
So I was gonna try and buy me a new truck, but you know how I like my old school stuff. So I found in my area, $1,000, a '56 F100. Ford
hey,
F100. But the problem
For
is,
how
my
much?
brother, I showed it $1,000.
Damn.
Showed it to my brother, and he kind of joked and said, "It looks like Mater." I thought, oh, it's still a good
Oh,
truck.
that ruined it.
Yeah, that ruined it. It's like it looks like Mater. It's like it's still, it's rare, and these things sell like hotcakes whenever you get them fixed up. Like you see them all the time at classic car shows. Every guy that they show up in their old truck. But I actually wanted to use mine for what it's was built for.
Yeah.
Work. But, you know, I
Alright.
don't know. I kind of got
Well-
ridiculed out of buying it.
Oh, man, live
Go
your
get
dream,
it, I
man.
recommend
When you get that
it.
money,
Don't
go
let
for it.
others affect your judgment on buying stuff, because you only have a limited amount of time.
Yes.
So do what though? Well,
Yeah.
do almost whatever the fuck you want. There's still some rules you gotta buy.
Yeah. It's just,
But,
I've been known for bad
I'm
decisions.
sorry.
Bad
I'm sorry to
purchase.
cut the waffling in half because
Oh, that's
I
fine.
need sleep and I gotta go, dude. Y'all
Go
are
to
more than welcome
bed.
to stay and chill and chat, but I have to go.
Go
It's
to
good
bed.
hanging out with you.
I'm on a
See you,
bed.
Cade. See you, Fernie. I'll see you soon, Napalm.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Catch you later, Cypress. So, how long has the podcast been running?
Is that
About an hour?
I can go with the 10. If I do this, I can.
Yeah.
1 hour,
It's about
7
an hour,
minutes, 10
according to-
seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds, 13 seconds, 14 seconds, 15 seconds, so on and so forth.
You might want to cut it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to cut it here.
Mm.
And
So,
cut.
And now I'm gonna say you this. If I cut it here, that'll be a total of I think 4 hours of streaming that I did.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because I streamed
4
3
hours.
hours earlier today, and now
Oh.
it's so plus the 1 hour that I'm doing now because it's just a late night stream because I felt like doing a stream. Yeah, it'll be a total of 4 hours.
Alright. I've been looking into getting into that sort of thing. So how's it been for you?
I have
it like,
no
whole stream?
idea. Cause here's the thing. I just got started in doing this. Like, I learned that I could do it yesterday, and once I learned I could do it, I just said, "Fuck it, let's just do it."
It's cool.
It was fun.
So what, if you get like enough followers, you can make money, or like have like people donating?
Again,
Mhm.
don't know.
Alright,
Don't know.
You're new.
Yep. I can do it.
Well,
I can do it. That's I
Tell
do
me if it works out for you.
I will tell you if it works out, if I ever remember your name, or, you know, like,
Call me Cade.
okay, thank you.
Most
Am
people
I-
have it as a first name. Mine's my last.
I can only tell you if one, come on, lets me see you again, or two, I remember that I need to tell you because I have when it comes to this stuff.
Well,
I do not purposely forget. I
I'm
just
usually-
forget.
I
So-
have bad memory too, so I understand how that is. But I usually hang out with Cypress whenever I can. But you know, he's hanging out with Cypress whenever I can. How's it been for you? Off at the guillotine. He's hanging out with Cypress whenever I can. How's it been? Get out talking about
Oh, good
Grom,
God,
the
I'm
one who
back
sent us a
from
fish
the
picture.
dead.
Him-
I lagged so hard. I'm sorry. If I remember correctly, you said you
That's
wanted
fine.
to know how I'm with Carmona.
Yeah. So, I mean, that looks kind of fun doing the whole streaming thing.
Well,
A lot of my favorite YouTubers went to it.
when it comes to
Kind of
Carmona,
gave up YouTube business for.
I like that motherfucker. They're hardworking. They put up with too much of BS, and they're a nice person to hang around. That one,
That's
I can say
nice.
that. Now, if I want to answer your question more in depth, I cannot be streaming whatsoever. But I'm still am, so I can't answer any more than that for right now.
Ah.
But when it comes to streaming, I'm just doing it because I can do it. And since I can do it, I will do it until I forget to do it anymore. Because I will never have a schedule. It'll just happen when it happens. Matter of fact,
Sounds fun.
there's a person on TikTok that like does despicable wishes, and the catchphrase is "Let's make
Despicable
it happen."
wishes.
Yes. Think of it like this: you've ironically found a genie lamp, a very, very rare thing to happen. But you are a despicable person. You want this world to suffer, so you make despicable wishes. Wishes that no normal person would ever make, and it only harms people. And then he made a second series called Despicable Genie. So now you're a genie. And a person that makes a totally normal wish, like, let's say, for instance, I want to be rich. Okay. Let's make it happen. You become rich. I have siphoned off the money from every homeless person in every homeless shelter and just give it to you.
So that it's reverse Robin Hood. That's how you're making your money.
Yeah, and that's just a small example.
That is pretty.
Imagine saying, I wish to be popular.
Yeah, that's pretty despicable.
Imagine what you if I was a normal person and I had the despicable genie. I said, I wish to be popular. What do you think will happen?
No, like a Rick and Morty situation where like everyone clambers you to like you have a love potion or.
Nah, not with this genie. Instead, you are popular for the wrong reason. Real wrong reason.
You're not famous, you're infamous.
It's one thing. It's funny, but at the same time, like, no. Why are you fucking over my wishes? But I'm making them so simple. Hell, if you order a pizza, he will find a way to make it like the worst way to get a pizza.
A Pizza Hut blew up and one pie in a box just lands right there. But it cost several lives.
Now, what would happen if a
It's hot and ready because the building blew up
and a despicable genie were to meet?
Ooh. They just ruin each other's lives. I don't know.
No, you would think that. No, instead, the genie starts crying tears of happiness because he found a person just like him. They
just as rotten on the inside like him.
Like,
that's pretty good.
And it's stupid though, and it's like I don't want the world to
That's
end,
funny.
but I want the world to end. Do you understand that?
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Nah, they want to scorch it and laugh in the fire, saying everybody deserves this because it's funny. And now, oh my goodness. Then he made another series Do you know the Fairy Odd Parents?
Oh yeah, I grew up watching that cartoon.
What happens if a despicable wisher had Cosmo and Wanda?
I think there was an episode like that where like Timmy gets jealous of the previous kids and he like wishes he could meet him or something and finds out that like they trick him into thinking that they just used him up and threw him away, but instead they were just really awful kids that wished for terrible things and they couldn't stay their godparents anymore.
No.
Like I think they said one of them caused World War I because they wished for the death of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Isn't it in the rules that you can't wish for murder though? How did they even wish for the person to die if it's in the rules?
Well, they wished for the assassination. They didn't wish that them to die directly as a result of the wish. They just wished that an assassin would go after them or something. They found a loophole and caused World War I.
Oh my goodness.
And because of that, you know, they could. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this person will definitely not have Cosmo and Wanda for long because I'll tell you the skit that they were doing, the skit that he was doing. So you're this despicable wisher. You're at the park. You got Cosmo and Wanda. You run into your friend.
Yeah.
You got a little chitty chat. Nothing terrible, just a nice conversation, and then your friend has to leave. What do you do now?
I don't know.
You wish
Just have to leave.
You wish for his family to go on a vacation, a nice one. Send them to the best place in the world. But make sure the plane crashes and burns. And he's the only one who was not allowed to go on the trip. Why do you make this wish?
Dang.
Because now he doesn't have to leave Eve anymore, and I can have fun with him. He doesn't have to go home.
That's messed
now.
up.
That is despicable. That is crazy.
I'm gonna have to go too. My headset's getting low.
It's alright.
Hey, it's been fun hanging out with you, Fernie.
It's been nice.
Hope
hanging out with you.
the whole streaming thing works out for you.
It probably will. It probably won't. We will find out one day.
Find out next time. Dragon Ball Z.
Why? No. And with that, that's everyone. It's just me, myself, and I now. And clearly, I have no way of providing content. So I mean, well, end here now. Maybe. Unless I can just pop in somewhere else, right? I don't know. Understand. So in 2 seconds, I'll cut it. 5, 4, 3, 2,